If you were diagnosed with Crohn's in the last 6 months, I need to tell you something about the first place almost everyone goes. Because what you find there could genuinely set your treatment back by years. Hi, I'm Kate, and today we're talking about how to find trustworthy Crohn's information when you're brand new to this diagnosis. And this matters right now because the wrong advice at this stage, before your disease is even properly staged, can cost you time, gut tissue, and peace of mind that you can definitely not get back. So, the night my son was diagnosed, what I did first, even as a naturopath and as someone that has had 20 years' experience with my husband with Crohn's, was I did what you do. I Googled, I checked out Facebook group, and if I'm being totally honest, I even TikToked what was happening with Crohn's. Most of the content that I found actually made my stomach drop. Because as my husband had been diagnosed years earlier, there was no social media. But the equivalent bad advice we got from well-meaning people, that's what I saw online as well. So the moment I realized the gap, the credible, calm, integrative voice that didn't exist for us when we needed it, I was hoping to find that online now. But here's what I want you to hold on to. The problem is not that people in Facebook groups or on TikTok are actually lying to you. Most of them genuinely believe what they're sharing. The problem is that Crohn's disease is not one disease. It has different locations, different behaviors, different severities. And until your gastroenterologist has staged yours with a colonoscopy, imaging, and blood work, advice built on someone else's body is not just unhelpful, it can be actively harmful. A 2021 analysis published in the Journal of Crohn's and Colitis found that the majority of IBD content on social media contained at least one clinical inaccurate claim. Now, that's not a reason to avoid the community. It is a reason to know exactly what you are looking for before you actually trust a source. So, as I mentioned, social media. There's three kind of source types. There's Facebook groups, TikTok coaches, and Reddit threads. Now, each one gets some things right, and exactly where each one breaks down for a newly diagnosed person is what the problem is. You don't want to get advice from someone that is sharing their story because their story may not be your story. And as we've mentioned before, there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to Crohn's treatment, and that's where the problem lies. Now, there was a Facebook group post that told someone to stop biologics. Now, that person has no idea what your situation is. So just because they're saying you should stop your biologics, how do they know that's going to be appropriate for you? The other thing is that sometimes in the first 6 months, that's actually the highest risk window for bad advice because you haven't been fully mapped. You don't know where the disease is exactly, and you don't know what's actually going on. Is it just in the small bowel? Is it everywhere? Is it just one little situation? So when my son got his scope, what we didn't know about the disease location, we found out then, and then the full workup could be done and we knew exactly where to go. So the first question to ask is, who exactly is this person? Does this person have a verifiable clinical research credential in IBD specifically, or are they credentialed only in their own experience? Now, there's nothing wrong with listening to people and their experience, but it may not be right for you. So it's the difference between a dietitian who specializes in IBD and a health coach who healed their gut. So that's the difference. Question 2. What is their relationship with medical care? The second vetting question. Does this source position itself as working alongside gastroenterology, or does it frame medical treatment as the enemy to overcome? So sometimes the specific type of TikTok content I've seen is that you don't need your doctor, you can heal yourself. Anti-medicine framing, even when it sounds reasonable, is not healthy. Question 3. Are they staging aware? Do they talk about the fact that Crohn's must be personalized to your actual disease location, severity, and what treatment stage you're at? Or do they offer one-size advice? Are they more interested in selling you a Heal Your Gut 90-day coaching program, or are they wanting to give you specific one-on-one advice for your situation? That's what you're looking for. So where my son is now is deep remission. And we actively sought out trustworthy, staged, integrative support groups to work alongside his GI care. And we definitely tried to hook him up with people of a similar age, because no one at 20 wants to be told by a 50-year-old what is appropriate. And no one newly diagnosed wants to be told someone 30 years down the track that's still unwell. So the realistic picture is that community is not the enemy, but bad bedding is. And now you have the 3 questions to do it right. What are their qualifications? Are they just dead against medical care? They're the most important ones. So if this is the kind of support you were looking for when you first typed Crohn's disease into a search bar, subscribe, because this channel is built to be exactly that. And please share this one with anyone who is newly diagnosed and still finding their feet. I'll see you in the next video, and have a beautiful day.